Happy Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of Full Frontal Investigation. I will be your host for the next half hour, 45 minutes. Richard Holmes. You a pussy, Rich Holmes. And this morning what we're going to talk about here is 10%, guys. 10%. The whole reason David's going to lose all of this in the end is because of 10%, you guys. If you guys get any sound issues, please let me know so I can adjust them and get Tony in here to fix it. So Rick Frazier, right, is why we have all of this, you guys. Rick Frazier. Okay. Well, David too. David's greed. And him not wanting to give back 10%, you guys. That's it. It's all over 10%. Rick Frazier, through all of this, asked David, hey, can I have back 10% just so Debbie can get her life started? That's it. That's all he asked for, 10%. And David tells Rick, don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. Put yourself in Rick's shoes, everybody. What would you guys think? Imagine Rick, right, going through a big divorce settlement. His ex-wife gives David, some scummy pastor, $1.2 million plus. Says, yeah, just take it. Take it all. I don't need it. Take it all. I don't need any of it. I'll give it all to the kingdom of God. So, exactly. Don't be ridiculous. Whose inventory is now a 66 Yugo and a totaled Bentley. Exactly. And the thing is, you guys want to know how I know this is a trafficking operation? Because look, now Kathleen is up in Taylor, Michigan. You know what this tells me? Something. David's fracturing a cult. This is huge, you guys. Like when I see stuff like this tells me something on side is moving. All right? Something's happening on the inside. Kathleen is now up in Taylor looking like she's sweating her fucking ass off in that building, probably because there's no AC. And David, God knows what's going on at the hotel at this point. It's total debauchery, you guys. And it's all over 10%. David's cult, you guys, David's cult will falter because of 10%. His whole cult, his operation, his church, KOGGC, Marvels in America, World Healing, Joshua Media Ministries International, it's all going to go down because of 10%. Because he couldn't do the right thing and give back 10% like it says to in the Bible, right? What does it say in the Bible? Hey, freely you give, freely you receive, right? But David's out here straight up asking people for half their shit now. Eddie Murphy said that. Hey, give me half your shit. When that's like when you get divorced, though. It's like, hey, give me half your shit. David's like, hey, give me half your shit because I'm too much of a degenerate to go out and get a job, and I can't even give back 10%, but hey, I'm going to ask for half all your shit. I'm curious, has anybody ever gone to David and asked for money or for help and been told no or don't be ridiculous? That's what I'm curious about. If David has ever gone, if anybody's ever gone to David. I think so too. I think so. Trip 9, I think something happened. Like they had to move people out of that fucking property, dude. I really do. I think they had to move people out of the property finally. That's where I'm at with it, bro. Is something happened and the cult finally said, y'all got to get the fuck out of here. I mean, the live stream last night, it wasn't even a live stream. One True Emperor, what up? Salute to you here. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks, Emperor. Appreciate it. And so we're only going to go for about a half hour today. I'm not going to do very long, quick pop-up live. And this whole thing, everybody, 10%. 10%, 10%, 10%. Why we have the deposition? 10%. Why David's being sued in all these other lawsuits? 10%, you guys. Greed, 10%. What it says in the Bible to give back to the church, 10%. And David couldn't even do that. In the one moment where his faith was being tested, he said, don't be ridiculous. That's what David says. Don't be ridiculous. Hey, David, can you just give back 10% to help Debbie get her life going on? Don't be ridiculous. Imagine that. Yeah. Yeah, at least I come out of hiding, David, to give you guys fucking content, right? David's like, he can't come out of hiding because he's not in hiding. That's right, I'm not, fucker. I'm not, David. We've been out here calling out your bullshit scam. What's up, Stuart Katz? Good morning. Hit that like and subscribe. We're talking about DavidETaylor and his religious cult And the reason why we have all of this stuff is because of 10%, Stuart. 10%, man. 10% David couldn't give back when asked, right? And as I'm not even a Christian, dude. It says in the Bible we're supposed to give back 10%, right? Your point. Gotcha. Check it right now. I must have been in a hotel. That's what I mean. Your point. I'm telling you, something happened. The Colts got to move. They can't be doing this. They know their time is limited, I think, now at this point. They got Kathleen up and Taylor now. This is what I mean. David is very calculated with his movements with his people. He has to be. He has to be. This is a forced labor operation. Nobody's getting paid here. Everybody works for David. It's all a paycheck for David. Kathleen standing here, she hasn't probably gotten a paycheck in fucking years, you guys. Your point, I'm with you. I'm with you. They're moving people around. Hey, Richard, important announcement. My wife is a slut. You a pussy, Rich Holmes. But yeah, so Rick Frazier, this is all because of 10%, you guys. And I want to reiterate that fact. And people ask, why do you do this? Why are the depositions here? What did he do to you? David's never done nothing to me except fucking lie under oath. Right? If I were to sit and lie under oath like that and totally perjure myself under a deposition, I'd be put in jail. Not only that, he lied about his taxes, which is a complete insult to all the taxpayers. And looking back and trying to analyze why the depositions here, 10%. 10% because David couldn't give back 10%. That's it. 10%. Yep. 10%, you guys. 10%. I know Trip 9, he stopped giving 10% and just started saving the 10%. And now he's doing really well for himself. So big shout out to you, Trip 9, for doing, what you did, dude. Trip 9, you were probably one of the bigger fucking thorn in his side too. Let me tell you something. So I don't know what the fuck you're doing on the back end, but I'd be fucking scared to be David if I was him. Trip 9, I would not want you on my bad side, bro. I would not want to be on your bad side, dude. I don't want to be on your bad side. Let me say it that way. Whatever you've done, Trip 9, I don't know, and I don't want to know. But whatever you're doing, keep it up, bro, because you're doing something. I know it's having an effect on him, dude. Based off some of the stuff you've asked me for, and I'm not going to say what you've asked me for, but yeah, I'll leave it at that, dude. So whatever you're doing, dude, keep it up, because I'm still sending the fraud reports. I'm still letting the IRS know we're paying attention. The fact that he's in all these lawsuits, he's moving his cult around, he's broke, he's $500,000 in debt right now in legal fees. Where's this all stop at? Yeah, continue to spite David. I would too, bro. I would too. And this is the Christian community. If you think about this, like, what are these people doing? They're giving the Christian community a bad name. And I can't blame this on all churches, right? Because we're not going after all churches. But with David, he's really good. David, you think persecution? You think you're being persecuted? David, you don't know what persecution is, dude. You have no clue what persecution is, David. You don't have a fucking clue about it. Let me tell you that, buddy. You don't have a goddamn idea what persecution is. David, let me drop you off on a fucking corner in China, and let me just give you a Holy Bible, and I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm seriously $500K in legal debt. Not just debt, but legal debt, you guys. Legal debt. Think about that, okay? It's legal debt. It's not just debt. It's legal debt. We have to signify the debt, okay? We got legal debt, then we just have the debt that David's in, debt and DET and DEBT's debt, right? Get it? Debt. The debt that David is in is astronomical at this point. His overhead, he's got to be paying out, man, with all his money that's coming in and out of that place, he's paying out a shit ton of money. He has to be. He has to be. Yeah, legal debt, One True Emperor. Legal debt, dude. Legal debt. Exactly. You got me, bro? One True Emperor. It's legal debt. That's just one debt. $500,000, bro. Let me break it down for you. We have $350,000 for one, okay? We have 108 for another, okay? And then we have 2 liens totaling about 25 grand on one property because David's not paying these contractors to do work for him. And what we've been trying to do, One True Emperor, is warn these businesses that they're being approached by this organization to be like, no, we ain't fucking doing business with you. If we do business, guess what, everybody? Cash money, straight up, don't ask questions. No, we want to be paid the entire fucking invoice. And if there's changes, guess what? We're going to tally up the debt and you're going to pay us for that straight up too, and we'll do the job. But let me tell you something, businesses, Florida, Texas, wherever, if you're being approached by this organization and they want to do business with you, let me tell you something, don't fucking do it. You will end up in a court case. You'll end up with owing money. Yeah, Houston is going to have tax issues. Exactly. All these organizations, this entire organization is a fucking tax issue. Does anybody not see that? We've been trying to say that there's so much money running in and out of this place illegally. This entire place is a tax fucking issue. What organization has 3 different names and 3 different tax ID numbers and it's all one person? DavidETaylor. He's like, hey, you know what? Fuck JMMI. We got KOGGC. Don't worry. Good morning, Octolubes. We're talking 10% today, okay? That's what it's all over. Taxes. David failed when asked by Rick Frazier. So y'all, I know Rick Frazier probably watches these from time to time, so tell Rick Frazier thank you for the deposition. Honestly. David, thank you for being a greedy fuck and not giving back the 10% because that's what this is all over, David. 10%. That's what we've come to figure out in all this. 10%, dude. That's it. After talking to Rick Frazier and he told me about the whole situation, David, he told me everything. Everything what you said in the court with, oh, dude, I think Harris County finally caught on to the scam. That's what I think. I think Harris County is catching on to David's tax scam, and they're like, no, you can't be doing this down here, And that's the thing. David, art of war, man. We're going about you bureaucratically, which you've never thought we would do, right? And I'm taking it to David, I'm taking it down to the county level where you're operating, David. And all I got to do is pick up the phone and make a couple calls, man, and let him know what's going on. That's it. It doesn't, David, let me tell you something how this works. Harris County Appraisal District. Bam. Harris County Appraisal District, this is so-and-so. Yes, my name's Richard Holmes. I run a YouTube channel about religious cult. This is the leader. This is their tax ID. They're in your county. This is the address. It's a cult. They're not paying their taxes, and they're running this place as saying it's a church, but it's not a church. Can you give me the information, Mr. Holmes? Yeah, here's my email. Bam, done. Have a nice day, Mr. Holmes. That's exactly how that phone call went when I called Harris County. I'm not fucking scared to tell you what I'm doing, David. This is how you do it, everybody that's paying attention on how you bring down a religious cult like this. You got to get the bureaucratic entities involved, right? Harris County in this case, Harris County Appraisal District, right? Call them up. Hey, I know they're running a tax scam out of multiple fucking states and they're trying to pull multiple exemptions and they're doing it in several states. Here's their name. Here's a tax ID. Here's the information you're going to need to get your stuff started. That's it. And you know what? I haven't heard anything back from Harris County since I put in that phone call. I got an email. I sent them over a couple things, and I haven't heard a thing. The only thing I said is, we're going to open inquiry into this operation. Thank you. Have a nice day. Because tax code doesn't allow us to find out what's actually happening with the tax investigation. It's bullshit. Wulu, I've done everything. Trust me. I've done it all. Oh, the death threats? Guess what? There's death threats in this county. 3, actually. There's 3. I have two separate on one case and then another one. Yeah, gotta go get you. But we're talking about 10% today, guys. This is all why we're all here together. Kevin, Ray, everybody talking. It's all because 10%. Because David's greedy. And his greed will be the ultimate downfall of his cult, you guys. That's it. The one chance he had to be a Christian, to do the right thing, when he had the money, when he was probably at the apex of his money operation, he could have gave back the 10% and it wouldn't have affected him, not one bit. But giving back 100,000 is like losing him 10 million to David. What's up, Dave Rich? Good morning. Going to go about 15, 20 more minutes, okay? And that's the thing. And what do they all thrive off of? Their tax exemption, right? They all thrive off of their tax exemption because, hey, I'll say, yo, what's up? Hey, have you seen what's going on at the hotel? Have you been by the hotel lately, Alceo? I'm curious if you've seen any activity, what's going on there, because the main lady is no longer there anymore. She's up in Taylor. Yeah, I do too. I wish the cult members would get out and start a productive life. Yeah, see, let's take a peek here. Let's see what we got going on with the taxes in Harris County. Because this is David's get down. He doesn't like to pay taxes, right? Let's see. We're using the tax ID, Uncle Jake. 811-95992 331174241. Damn, nothing's there for them, huh? Yeah, Joseph's been missing too. Yeah, Joseph's been missing too, actually. Okay. Okay. So they still got the armed guards there. Okay. All right. 14,380. Okay, hang on to here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that one. That's what I did, and let me see here. Property search. I'm only allowed to put numeric values in. Let's see. 14,380. Here we go. Okay, I got you. Okay. I'll have to look this one up, yeah. But had Rick Frazier not been around, you guys, and had Debbie not given up the money, we would never know about David. And had we not known about David, we would never have this content that he's been giving us over the last, what, fucking 5-6 years. Anybody that's just tuning in, hit that like. We're talking about David today just for a little bit longer here. And the reason we all have this deposition is because 10%, everybody. That's it. It's 10%. Had David just not been greedy, we probably never would know about him. Think about that just for 1 second. Had David not been greedy, we'd never know about him. It's almost like the government wanted this one to slip through the cracks just to see what would happen. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist like this. I just think this is all because of no accountability in our system. The government's sitting here, free money, take it. And everybody's like, gimme. But no, it's what it's doing to the economy is fucking hurting us. I mean, we've already looked at what does it say? The church is expected to embezzle $86 billion this year, as you guys? Come on, man. $86 billion. That's fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. And for David to sit back and collect fat on it, I mean, really? Where do we stand up and say, no, this is enough, everybody? This is enough. We can't be letting this happen anymore. And I'm glad we have the way now to find out how we can get these guys. Oh, yeah, they were pissed. Oh, they were pissed when I showed up on their Zoom. When Lance showed up, when David had a face-to-face appearance. Yeah, when David had a face-to-face appearance on Zoom. Let me see if I find it. Give me 1 second. He was so pissed, man. They actually tried to get that video taken down. Yeah. No, they tried to get that video privacy struck and copyrighted. Hey, Thomas, what up? Good morning. He was so pissed, man. He was so mad. Yeah, that damn Lance. And then Joseph sitting up there, he's like, fucking pissed. David's the prophet, and he couldn't even see that I was going to show up on a Zoom. There's another failed prophecy of DavidETaylor. David didn't know he was going to show up on a Zoom, everybody. But Thomas Lopez, what we're talking about today is 10%, bro. 10%, right? What's it? But we talked on the phone. We were gaming last night and shit, and we were talking stuff, Thomas. And what's it say in the Bible? Like, freely you give, freely you receive, right? David, all David had to do to prevent this entire shitstorm that he's created for himself was give back 10%, bro. Give back what the church says to give. Yeah, Joseph, dude, he's MIA right now, man. He's MIA. I don't know. You know, guys, when David does this type of shit, it's real telling. Like, it tells me that there's problems inside the cult, man. That people are possibly asking questions. They want to know what's going on. And he fractures the cult in an attempt to keep everything hidden from everybody. Right? This is what H.H. Holmes did when he built his murder factory at the World Fair. Where was it? Ohio, I think. Can't remember World Fair. But what H.H. Holmes did was when he had somebody build a section of his murder castle, he would fire them. And then he would fire them and then hire somebody else. Same thing. Kind of, you break it up so nobody has the direct map of how this operation works. But David, we know how it works. We know how it works. Your Convoy Miracles, it's all a sham. The stage is all a sham. The Timu Tabernacle, it's all a sham. It's just to keep your cult members happy because you have to continue the grift to make sure everybody thinks you're on the up and up when you're not, David. You know that. David, when are you going to tell your cult members that you're in $500,000 in debt right now and just in legal debt? Are you going to ever sit back and tell them, be like, hey, we need to get on these phones because I owe $500,000 in legal debt and I'm fucking broke. So you guys chop to it, get to work. No, the services are in Taylor this morning, Kevin. No. They're in Taylor today, dude.
You to do something that somebody in the natural is telling you not to do, you don't listen to them. You to do something that goes against what God tells you to do, what goes against the process God is bringing you to, then you have to be able to be strong enough. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your husband, your wife. If God is telling you to do something that somebody in the natural is telling you not to do, you don't listen to them. You listen to God.
So she basically said, you don't listen to anybody in the secular world. You listen to God no matter what the fuck they tell you. Don't listen to your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad. Don't listen to anybody. This is panic. Exactly. This is panic in the cult right here. I think that's exactly what it is, Kevin. I'm with you. No, we're just talking why we have the deposition today out in space. And this, it really is. It's all over 10%, everybody. Everybody always wonders, like, why do we have the deposition? And I wanted to make this specifically about Rick Frazier getting gypped for 10% because that's exactly what Rick Frazier asked back for. 10%, you guys. 10%. Rick asked for 10% back from David so Debbie could get her life started. David told Rick, don't be ridiculous. 10%, David. Be good, Frank. Yeah, I was going to run super long. I was just going to do a quick 10% video. I wasn't going to go 100%. I'm going to go 10% today. Right, I don't want to give my full 100. I just want to give 10% today, okay? So I'm only going to give my 10, and that's it. You're not getting a fucking percent more, buddy, okay? 10% is why we're here. So yeah, out in space, exactly. When you watch that video, when anybody watches that deposition, keep in mind, it's all over 10%. Go back and watch the deposition today and watch David make a complete fuck of himself and think, we have this because this idiot didn't want to give Rick Frazier back 10%. Do the Christian thing, he says, right? Rick tells David, do the Christian thing. David, come on. My wife could use that money to help get her life started. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous is what David says. And I had this conversation with Rick. Of course, he's not going to come out here and tell you guys. Why would he? No, he doesn't want to fucking talk to me. But this is the facts of the conversation. This is the truth of the conversation. I FaceTimed with him. He asked me specifically to take down videos of his daughter and Debbie Frazier, which I graciously did. Then I thought about it for a couple weeks. I was like, you know what? No, I'm putting those videos back up because it's not about him. This is about what David's doing to all of these people. And it's to prove this cult mentality of the power it has over people, that people will go and do coached interviews to slander people. I mean, Katie, you going out saying your dad was molesting you guys, that's a fucking lie in itself. You know he wasn't, you fucking lying fucking... Who are you, Katie? You did that all for David. You did that all for David. Your dad did not fucking touch you guys. I know that. Your dad is a good fucking father. Granted, yeah, he might have some fucking shortcomings, but let me tell you something. He ain't no fucking child molester like you guys say he is. You're just a fucking liar, Katie. You just did that all for David. You and Debbie. You and your mom. You all did that just for David. That shit was coached as fuck, man. Oh, what up? Noah's from Costa Rica. Noah, 10%. That's why we have the deposition. And that's a horrible fucking lie to tell somebody, oh, my dad was touching me. You know what that fucking does to kids? You know what it does to fucking people? Katie, are you fucking serious? That's fucking disgusting. Why would you want your dad? Like, why would you go on and be like, oh, he was touching us and he was molesting us? Like, it's a fucking trophy. You sport it like it's a fucking trophy. And then you go and put it on David's YouTube channel and be like, he did this to us. No, the fuck he didn't. I'll fucking vouch for Rick Frazier. I know he didn't fucking touch you guys. Your dad is a good fucking man to you guys. Katie, fucking disgusting. Yeah, false accusations of rape, molestation is a serious crime. Absolutely. Absolutely. That shit when that shit happens, they need to be held criminally accountable, because the type of investigation that you get people involved in, like, you know what it does to families? You know what it fucking does to families to fucking make false accusations like that of rape and molestation to kids? It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And men's reputations and freedoms get destroyed. You're absolutely right, Trip9. You know when it happened to somebody in my fucking family quite recently too. And you know what? It's fucking disgusting that women can do that. I'm not hating on women. I'm just saying all women got to say is, he fucking touched my kids. Fuck, man. That's all it takes. Yep. Exactly. When you saw him smile, oh, it's good meeting you. Yeah, fucker. Yeah, thanks for taking all my money. That's why we're here, 10%, everybody. Next time you watch the deposition or next time you see David on fucking video, think it's all because of 10%, everybody. Nothing more, nothing less. 10%, you guys. David could have given back the 10%. He had the money. He had the means. He could have given every fucking cent of 10% back, and he could have still been balling it. He would have still been doing just fine. But no. David's a greedy fuck. Exactly. And the liars, you're exactly right. It's like we're out here telling the truth about this cult, and we're the liars. We're apparently the liars, right? David has portrayed us all to be liars, but hey, cult members, when has David come to you and told you guys the truth? When do you guys ever get to have some one-on-one time with your so-called prophet and pastor saying he's in this 5-year shutaway? No, let me tell you something, cult members, he's in hiding. He's in hiding because he's being sued for now. It's over $500,000 now, you guys, because the other side is now filing charges. They're filing paperwork. Every paperwork that gets filed on either side, David's paying for it. David is paying for every side right now in these lawsuits. The side that's suing him and the side that's representing him. Okay? Not only that lawsuit he's being sued for is gaining interest. Not only that, the one down in Florida is also going to gain interest, and those liens are most likely going to gain interest too. That's how this all works. David, over $500,000 right now. By the time if and when David pays his debt, could be $1 million in debt, honestly. He's going to have to start selling houses, start selling off property, liquidating his assets, something. But he's going to have to pay these debts. You know what, Janelle, I'm with you. I don't think there's any coming back from this at this point. And had he just given back 10%, you guys, we would never know about him. We would never have the deposition. And that's exactly what me and Rick talked about. Had David given back the 10%, Rick wouldn't have deposed him. He flat out told me, he's like, had David given back the 10%, I was going to drop the charge. I was going to drop it. I was going to let it go, because he's like, I go to church, dude. He's like, I get it. But he's like, I just asked him back for $100,000, dude. He wouldn't even do that. So he's like, okay, I'm going to depose you. And that's why we had the deposition. Debbie got deposed. But you know whose deposition we won't see? Debbie's. That's the missing link in all of this, is Debbie's deposition. Imagine if we had Debbie's deposition. Could you imagine what a fucking dumpster fire that one was? I mean, imagine David, but imagine Debbie. You know, and Debbie, if you're watching this, please get out. Look at what this man has done to your family. He is completely destroyed and just deconstructed your entire family's structure. It's disgusting to sit back and watch him do this any longer. And it's all, everybody, 10%. So next time you see David, next time you watch one of his videos, you're watching the live here with Comedy Channel or Occult Watch, 10%, everybody. 10%. That's why we're here. So with that being said, man, you'll have a good day. David, thank you for not paying back the 10%, because honestly, David, you've given us something to bring to the light, man. You were the darkest motherfucker out there, man. You are dirty. You are nasty. You're a slob. And not only that, you're using our tax money to fucking live your lavish life. And you know what? I'm here to tell you, and we're here to tell you, it's not going to happen anymore. All right. So here's to 10%, David. Polar seltzer. Bam. Here's to 10%, David. All right. So next time you're thinking about being greedy, David, and telling somebody, don't be ridiculous, maybe give them back the 10%. And like Trip 9 said, in closing, thank you, David, for exposing yourself for being the nastiest person to make an example of. Like Trip 9 said, Jeff Morton, hey, Jeff, if you're watching, the original enemy of DavidETaylor. I love that one. Trip 9's like, Jeff Morton's the original enemy of DavidETaylor before it was cool to be an enemy of DavidETaylor. So big shout out to Jeff, all the cult survivors out there, Cliff. You guys know who you are, man. We're here rooting for you. Any members in that cult, you guys are trying to get out, you need help, hey, call 911. You can call me. All my information's in my channel. And let me tell you something, don't sign any paperwork for David. Don't take out any kind of tax documents. Don't take out any kind of credit cards for him. Don't give him any money. Don't give him any phone numbers, addresses, bank account information. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is a cult. All he wants is your money to pay his lavish lifestyle. And had he just given back the 10%, David, we wouldn't be here. So, David, cheers. Thank you for being a greedy pig, and thank you for not giving back 10%, David. Y'all have a good day. Catch you on the next.